Welcome to Murphy, Sam, and Jody, the After the Show podcast. We hang out a little bit longer with you, and we love to hear from you, too. So many ways to do that. You can even send us voice memos if you want to msj@msjshow.com.
It's one of the first things we listen to in the morning of the day.
Or you can also, if you're listening on the iHeartRadio app for podcasts, then you can click that red talkback mic and send us a message that way, too. So, Jody, one thing that... Sam, you know this about Jody. I've been married to her now for 25 years, and it's actually one of my favorite things about her is you tend to personify animals. Animals are always...
Oh, yeah.
And my first experience with that actually wasn't with a dog or a cat. It was actually with Babe the pig.
Oh, yeah.
Jody loved that movie, Babe.
Because the pig talked.
And the pig talked.
And the
it was
sweetest
sweet.
voice, and it's a great story.
Yeah. Do you is it talking animals that you like, too, or is it just
I mean, I love all animals. A talking animal speaks to my inner child because when I was a little girl, there were times. So you're going to be sorry for picking on me. There were times when I felt
believe it or not, that's not where I'm going to pick on you, I promise. But I want to hear the story.
There were times when I felt lonely.
Yeah.
And animals were comforting to me.
Oh,
we lived on sort of a
farm, right?
Well, my parents weren't farming people. My dad was a carpenter, and he went to work at a plant every day. But we did have a barn in the back. And we filled it with chickens, and we had a calf, and we had turkeys, so farm-ish, farm-light. And so dogs, stray dogs that I would bring home and beg to keep and things like that were my friends.
If an animal walked up to you and started talking, would you freak out?
No, I would love it. But it's impossible.
That's what you think.
Murphy's got a big surprise for you.
No. But I understand that. And I think that that's really sweet. I didn't realize that was a loneliness thing for you as a kid.
Well, that's where it started. That I realized that I could have a bond, if you will, a little bit of a relationship with an animal, with another living thing.
You just had to be careful at your house which animals you became close to, though.
Yes, because
didn't they go farm to table, basically, for lack of a better term?
Once that I knew of.
Yeah.
And I was sad. I was being told while we were eating.
That's awful.
And I cried, and my dad was upset with me.
As in, like, the turkey disappeared in November?
It was the calf.
Oh. Did you name it?
Of course. I don't want to talk about it.
Well, your dad didn't call it by name at the table, right? Of
course not.
Okay, that would have been cruel. That would have been totally cruel.
You like these burgers? You know what?
Yeah, right.
Anyway.
The reason I bring this up is because you love our dog Champ, he's a boxer lab pit kind of mix. We've had him since 2017. So he is 7 plus 3. We think he was 3 years old when we got him. So he's around 10. He's getting up there in age. And
I know I have a special bond with him.
Yeah, and he probably is the most human-like of our dogs. And I know I've teased Jody about that, but it's true. It's a little freaky to me, honestly, how human he can be because
I'm so glad to hear you say this.
Yeah, well, and it's been a couple of things recently, and
has he been like opening the door or stuff?
Calling and asking where we are?
Yeah. Checking Life 360.
No, but it's little things like Jody and I were watching one of the games last weekend, and I guess he decided he needed to go out, but he doesn't just come up to us. He goes around in front of the TV and sits and faces us.
Oh.
He goes, he's smart enough to know to get in front of the TV and look at us like, hello.
Wow.
I need to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. He also, anytime I go outside without him, how dare I go out front without him? Because that's where I take him when I go walk every day. And he goes on a short walk with me. If I go to just the mailbox, I turn around to walk back toward the house, and he's looking out the window like, Mom, duh, what are you doing? He watches me back out of the driveway.
Yeah.
Like he's so
Oh, yeah,
sad
he'll sit at the window and watch Jody back out.
to not be going.
He also, and he's not a dog that we've had to scold.
Ever.
He's always been a good dog. But what's weird is when he makes a mess in the house, You can tell.
He acts differently.
He acts totally differently. He knows he shouldn't
He's
have
guilty.
Yeah.
He feels guilty.
It's so weird to see that because the other dogs could care less. I mean, you know what I mean? They leave it and they go smiling to the next room.
Yeah.
But Champ is he's very human like that. And so I do the morning routines with them and the nighttime routines usually for bedtime and feeding and all that kind of stuff because Jodi leaves a little bit before I do to come here.
And I go to bed before you too.
Yeah. And this morning, he goes out. Usually they all go to the bathroom. They're all excited, and they come right back in to eat. They eat. They go right back out. They do all their other little magic. It's like clockwork. And they're back in, and they're good for the day. This morning, it was weird because Champ walked out, and he just sat in the grass with that little sit up and look. And I kept going with the other dogs, and I called him, and he started to walk to me, and then he sat down again. But then I'm not going to be gross about it, but he got sick. I guess he was eating grass or something like that.
Yeah.
But but just like the way that he was moving and the patience, he never acts like a dog. Mm-hmm. Everything that he does when he lays down, when he crosses his arms, when he sits in the yard and looks at things, he sits as straight up as a human. It's
he's on guard.
Right, exactly. It's crazy to look at.
I don't know how anybody can spend time with him and not fall in love with him. And it's the reason that other people don't. We just don't want to share him. Taylor and Phoebe, they have made a list of our. I think I told you this, Sam. They made a list of our best dogs and the worst ones. There's a good list and a bad list, just like at Christmas. And Champ is the top of the list as the greatest dog we've ever had.
It's weird because he may be the most expressive dog that we've ever had. Edie really can't look you in the eye because she's so submissive, and when she does,
it's too upset, too much for her.
Right, our youngest dog Phoebe says it looks like she's about to kill you.
Murderous. It's the murderous look.
Right.
Really,
but it's not. She's the most gentle giant ever. Yeah. But it's just the
she's just unsure of herself, completely unsure of herself.
Right, and everybody will see dogs when they're hungry or you get their attention or they're going to look at you. But Champ, it's just different because it's almost like he knows what you're thinking, and his expression changes, and his eyebrows go up and down. It's really almost like he's a human, Jodi. So, and I know you've known that forever, but in the last couple of weeks, I've just noticed that more.
It took you all this time, huh?
Yeah, I'm kind of slow.
You left out Sparky. What about him?
Sparky acts like he is running a country and with running our house.
Yeah.
He thinks he's this tiny little long-haired Chihuahua, and he has zero feelings for anybody but himself. But he acts like he's running. But he's so cute. He gets away with everything.
Yeah,
he's so cute. He literally could be he's a criminal dog.
And he's the scavenger of all of our dogs because Edie is a lab mix. And Champ and Edie, if something hits the floor, they don't even get up to go eat. They don't care.
I'm tired. I'm sleeping.
But Sparky is the one who's ready to hit anything, and then he will try to defend it, like to these dogs that are 3 times his size, which is really funny.
Yeah,
but they're not. I mean, they're not interested. They don't go grab food. They don't grab things off of the kitchen counter. I just, they're a really good pack. But Champ has never been that way, even when he was 3, which was a little more puppy-like. That he never did anything like that.
He's just 100% obedient. I will tell you this: before him, we've had lots of dogs, and we always will. We're dog people. I remember thinking they're all so different. You can't have a favorite, right? I mean, they're all so different. I love all of my pets, but he has been my favorite dog I've ever had. And I think probably ever will. It does not mean I will stop, though.
Oh yeah.
When that day comes and I have to say goodbye to him, it's going to be a hard day for me. I'm going to be sad, and I won't jump the gun, but we will adopt again. We will rescue again. I will do it in honor of him. I will always do it. There are too many that need a good home, and we're dog people, and it makes our home happier.
Yeah. Well, and it's good for the rest of the pack too, because they miss.
They need each other.
Yeah, they all do need each other. But Champ is just so out of our dogs. Our daughters made a list, like Jodi was saying, and so Champ was at the top of the list. But the second at the top was Ashley, who was the longest boxer ever. She almost lived to be 14 years old. It's crazy. But we called her Soul Mama because she really did have a maternal instinct, even though she'd never had puppies of her own. She had, a maternal instinct, and so
our kids,
she had human-like qualities, and she would get excited. But Champ has almost like a depth to him. It's freaky, Jodi. Honestly,
I want to
don't
bring
know why
him
I've
to
noticed
work.
it more lately. He's the most laid back, the most mild mannered. Just he is.
He's a person. Just say it. He's a person.
All right, he's a person.
So when his time comes, is he going to get the full afterlife treatment? Like, the extra money for the ashes and the
I will cross
the ornament
that bridge.
with his paw on it?
I will deal with that when I get there. I don't know. I'm not going to plan any of that. I'm going to go with those decisions when they are in front of me.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you see the price tag.
Missed any part of the show? Get it all on the Murphy, Sam, and Jodi podcast.